Okay, let's unpack this. Did you know that recent studies suggest only about 1 in 3 women regularly experiences orgasm?
Wow, that low.
Yeah, and even fewer, maybe just 16%, are multi-orgasmic. Those numbers feel surprisingly low, for something so
They
fundamental.
really do.
So today we're taking a deep dive into a really fascinating guide that promises to help shift those statistics for you. It's La Mujer Multi-Orgasmica, or the Multi-Orgasmic Woman.
Ah, yes. By Mantak Chia, the renowned Eastern spiritual master, and Dr. Rachel Carlton Abrams, a Western doctor.
Exactly.
What's so interesting here, I think, is how this guide bridges that ancient Taoist wisdom about sexuality with, well, the best of Western medical research.
Right.
And the author's mission really is to radically increase your pleasure and satisfaction by deeply connecting with your sexual energy.
Which they describe as this source of incredible power,
Right.
joy.
Power, healing, joy, all of it. It's quite profound. The holistic path to female sexual vitality.
So what does this actually mean for you listening right now? This book is built on a really holistic foundation. Dr. Abrams herself, the Western medical doctor, she actually came to these practices with some skepticism.
Understandable.
But she found them to be, and this is a quote, the most powerful techniques for transformation and healing in her own life and professionally, too.
That's quite the endorsement from an MD.
It really is. It speaks to this need for a healthier, more integrated way of understanding female sexual energy and pleasure, especially today.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, ancient Taoism has always seen sexuality as totally integral to health, to well-being overall.
It isn't separate.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, Taoist doctors sometimes even prescribed making love to treat illnesses.
Really?
Yeah. So the book combines that ancient view, seeing sexual energy as your greatest source of qi, your life energy, with modern medical insights.
And it's not about, complex procedures.
No. It's more about practices they call bedroom qigong. Simple exercises, really,
Yeah.
using breath, concentration.
To mobilize your inner energy.
Exactly. Think of it like energetic yoga, but specifically for your sexual vitality.
Okay, so the book starts by encouraging you to explore your sexual fingerprint. That sounds really personal. Intriguing.
It does, doesn't it?
What exactly is a sexual fingerprint? Why start there?
Well, it raises that fundamental question, who are you sexually? The core idea is that your sexual identity is as unique as your literal fingerprint.
Okay.
But unlike your fingerprints, it changes. It's dynamic. Your past, your relationships, culture, even body chemistry. It all plays a role.
So there's no single right way.
Absolutely not. The book really emphasizes there's no correct way to feel desire or have an orgasm. The goal is self-acceptance, awakening your own natural energy.
That sounds freeing.
It is. And the authors reassure you, look, it's easy to feel like you're the only one with sexual challenges, but that's just not true. It's about owning your journey, cultivating your inner fire, chi, emotions, and mind.
The book highlights something many listeners might relate to, the superwoman phenomenon. Juggling work, family, everything.
Oh, yes. The constant drain.
Right. And the book says this can lead to chronic illness, sleep problems, depression, low libido, because our primal energy just gets used up.
Makes sense.
But then it suggests something almost counterintuitive for replenishment, cultivating sexual passion. If you're exhausted, how does that work? What's this healing love idea?
It's a really fundamental shift in perspective. The book explains that, yes, other things drain your primal energy, but actively cultivating sexual passion, that isn't another drain. It can actually increase your basic life force, enhance your overall health, your vitality.
So it adds energy rather than taking it.
Precisely. That's why they call these practices healing love. You're transmuting sexual energy into a healing force for your whole being, consciously.
Wow, that's a powerful idea. And it brings us to something the book calls the internal smile meditation. For listeners who might be a bit skeptical about, mind over body stuff, what's the science or the magic behind smiling inwardly?
It's definitely more than just putting on a happy face. It's a real inner healing tool.
Okay.
The book explains this genuine, gentle smile, shining from your eyes, but directed inward. It actually stimulates your immune system, releases endorphins.
Really? There's evidence for that?
Yeah, they even cite a UC Berkeley study. Chronically depressed patients saw significant remission just by smiling at themselves in a mirror for 20 minutes daily.
Sure.
And from the Taoist view, a loving internal smile helps your organs emit nourishing secretions, while fear or anger, they produce more toxic ones.
So your internal state physically matters.
Deeply. It highlights that Taoist belief.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind directs your qi. The qi follows the mind. Modern science is catching up to this, you know.
The book also talks about shifting consciousness, moving it from your head down to your abdominal mind. That challenges how most of us operate.
It really does. We're very head-centric.
So what's the significance of this shift in Taoism, and does science back this up at all?
Well, Taoists see the navel area as your body's energetic center. That's where your primal energy resides, the head. They see it more as consuming energy.
Interesting.
And what's fascinating is modern research kind of supports this. They found 100 million neurons in the intestines.
100 million?
Yeah, more than the spinal cord. It confirms the gut can process thoughts, feelings independently. It connects right to our gut feelings, our intuition.
So tapping into that abdominal mind is like accessing a different kind of wisdom.
Exactly, a deeper, more primal wisdom.
Okay, so the internal smile helps qi, but what about emotions? They obviously impact our energy too. How do they fit in, and what are these healing sounds the book mentions?
Great question. Emotions in Taoism are seen as energies in motion, and specific emotions are linked to specific organs.
Like irritation in the liver.
Exactly, or sadness in the lungs. When qi gets stuck, congested, these emotions can get imbalanced.
Yeah.
Healing sounds are designed specifically to counteract stress, dissolve that emotional stagnation, bring things back into harmony.
So you're not suppressing emotions, but
Yeah,
transforming them.
precisely. Helping you see them as energy moving through you, not defining you. This balance is crucial because sexual energy actually intensifies any existing imbalances. So for instance, the lung sound suns helps process sadness into courage. The kidney sound shui turns fear into gentleness.
And people feel a difference.
Definitely. One participant in the book described feeling an ocean of calm after practicing them, unlocking orgasmic potential.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, the book talks about surrendering to the ecstatic wave of orgasm as part of sexual mastery. Sounds amazing. But as we said at the start, for many women, just reaching orgasm is the challenge. What does the book say gets in the way? What are these orgasmic disruptions?
Yeah, it's a really important question. Why do so many women struggle? The book explains that orgasm depends on this delicate mix, psychological, physical, energetic.
So it's easily disrupted.
Very susceptible. Physically, things like reduced blood flow, maybe nerve damage from conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, certain meds.
Like antidepressants?
Exactly.
Okay.
SSRIs, Prozac, Paxil, those kinds are specifically mentioned. They can cause, quote, excitation, but no orgasm. Pelvic surgeries like hysterectomies can also be a factor, especially if nerves are affected.
And emotional.
Big blockers there, too.
Yeah.
Fear, anxiety, self-criticism.
Yeah.
The book actually suggests a body blessing exercise.
What's that?
It's about consciously sending loving attention to parts of your body you might dislike, maybe a flabby belly, for example, vitalizing them with self-love.
So self-acceptance is key to pleasure, too.
A found key, yes.
The book also gets into hormones, which is fascinating. And yes, the chocolate connection.
Ah, yes. The chocolate connection is real.
So how does this internal chemical cascade work during orgasm? How does it benefit us?
It's a beautiful feedback loop, really. During orgasm, your body releases a flood of beneficial hormones. Well, phenylethylamine, PEA, that's linked to the excitement of romance, and yes, it's in chocolate.
Okay, makes sense now.
Then there's DHEA, the anti-aging hormone. It peaks at orgasm, which strongly suggests sexually active people tend to live longer, feel better.
Wow.
And of course, oxytocin, bonding hormone. Loving touch boosts oxytocin, which makes you want more loving touch. It's a cycle.
A positive cycle.
Absolutely. But the book warns, if physical contact stops for too long, that which is not used is lost. Desire can actually decrease.
So what if you don't have a partner right now?
Good point. The book recommends self-pleasure and massage. They're powerful ways to keep that oxytocin flowing for your own well-being.
Now, something really concrete the book emphasizes is the PC muscle. This feels like something practical listeners can work on.
Definitely. The pubococcygeus muscle, or PC muscle, it's foundational, part of your pelvic floor.
Right, surrounding the urethra, vagina, anus.
Exactly. And strengthening it, they suggest things like sustained 10-second contractions, maybe 10 times, twice a day.
Yeah.
Significantly boosts blood flow, sexual energy, and orgasmic capacity.
A big impact.
Huge. And here's a fascinating detail from the book. A strong PC muscle can apparently even bring a male partner to orgasm just through rhythmic contraction.
Whoa, okay.
But here's the crucial flip side. If your PC muscle is chronically tense, which can cause pain during sex learning to relax, it's just as important as strengthening it.
Ah, so it's about control and flexibility, not just brute strength.
Precisely.
Ah.
Especially for achieving what the book calls the expanded orgasm, advanced techniques and female anatomy of pleasure.
The book really champions self-cultivation or masturbation, calls it one of the most important steps towards regular, satisfying orgasms. Why is solo exploration so vital?
It's fundamental, really, because it helps you intimately understand your own anatomy of pleasure. You get to map your body.
Makes sense.
Plus, it boosts all those same great hormones you get from partnered sex, keeps tissues healthy, and crucially, it does not reduce desire for a partner.
That's a common myth, isn't it?
It is. The book powerfully dispels it. If anything, self-knowledge often makes you a more confident, engaged partner.
So beyond the clitoris, which gets most of the attention, the book acts like a detailed map to other erogenous zones. What are these areas? How can you explore them?
Yeah, it goes way beyond just the clitoris, revealing this whole landscape of pleasure. It talks about
The G-spot.
yes, the G-spot, or Grafenberg spot. That glandular tissue around the urethra, stimulated through the vaginal walls like the male prostate, can produce that second water ejaculation. Stimulation there can be super emotional, really healing.
Okay.
What else? The urethra itself, some women find that exciting, even orgasmic. Deeper in, near the cervix, there's the AFE zone, anterior fornix erogenous zone, often easier to stimulate in certain positions during intercourse, can lead to really profound orgasms. The third water.
In the cervix.
The cervix itself, yeah. Taoists link it directly to the heart. Stimulating it can trigger intense emotional openings. And also that third water.
Wow, it's much more complex than usually discussed.
So much more. And the book stresses your entire body is sensual. Nipples, ears, neck, the soles of your feet. It encourages you to experiment. Different touches, light blowing, firm scratching, different textures, silk, ice.
So the key is exploration.
Exploration, learning what fuels your pleasure,
Right.
not just chasing one specific type of orgasm.
This all seems to build towards the idea of a whole body orgasm. That sounds incredible. What does it feel like, and how do you even get there?
It's described as just, ecstatic, an expression of human potential, feeling sensations like tickling your hands and feet, your heart opens, your mind expands, and this incredible feeling of bliss that stays with you for hours.
Okay, sign me up. How?
Well, the central technique is the microcosmic orbit. It's a meditative practice.
Right, you mentioned Qi Kung earlier.
This is related. It refines and circulates qi through your main energy channels. You activate it by touching your tongue to your palate.
Simple, but powerful.
Very. It's like actively guiding your energy. This prepares your body for something called the ascending orgasmic absorption, moving that potent sexual energy up from your pelvis, up your spine to your brain, then down the front, nourishing your organs. It's so powerful you could do it even if you don't reach orgasm, just to transform sexual energy into nourishing qi.
And the sexual energy moves fast.
Faster than regular qi, the book says. Sometimes shooting directly from the pelvis to the head. A real tool for transformation.
Okay, let's tackle two often misunderstood topics. Multiple orgasms and female ejaculation. How does the book demystify these?
It lays it out pretty clearly. For multiple orgasms, strengthening and consciously using that PC muscle during stimulation is key. It intensifies and lengthens orgasms, making multiples more accessible.
And technique matters.
Yeah, they'd introduce edging or provocation, bringing sensation right to the peak, then pulling back slightly. Teaches your body to expect successive waves.
And communication with a partner.
Crucial.
Yeah.
Taking your time, pausing, eye contact, hand-to-heart connection, deepening intimacy, re-energizing.
Yeah.
And on female ejaculation, the book connects it to that Taoist idea of 3 waters from 3 gates: clitoris, G-spot, cervix.
Okay.
It explains this fluid is chemically different from urine. Contains compounds found in male seminal fluid, can be a few drops or quite a bit more.
And the different waters.
The first water is from clitoral stimulation, often clear, maybe not what people typically think of as ejaculation, but part of the release. Second water from the G-spot, that feeling like you need to pee, but it's not urine. Third water from the cervix, linked to that profound heart opening. Lifelong sexual health and practical considerations.
The book really shifts focus later on towards cultivating sexual health throughout your entire life. It suggests these Taoist practices can maintain vitality, even bring miraculous healing. How does that apply to specifics, like breast health or menopause?
Well, the core idea is that by strengthening your qi and directing it with love, with compassion, you foster regeneration, healing on all levels: physical, emotional, spiritual.
So it impacts overall vitality.
Exactly. And specific areas, too. Breast health, for instance. Taoists link that to the heart chakra.
Ah, interesting connection.
So they recommend breast stimulation, massage, not just for pleasure, but to stimulate hormone release, activate glands, support health beyond just appearance. There's even a breast cleansing exercise to drain negative energies.
And ovarian breathing? That sounds like it could be incredibly powerful, especially for women navigating menopause.
It really can be transformative.
Yeah.
This practice helps women of all ages, actually. Balances hormones, significantly reduces symptoms like painful periods, PMS.
And menopausal issues.
Yes, things like hot flashes, vaginal dryness, low libido. Practitioners report fewer symptoms, lighter periods, even some control over their cycles. It helps you tap into that primal energy stored in the ovaries.
For a smoother transition.
Exactly, allowing you to retain sexual vitality and vibrancy through menopause and beyond.
Another ancient secret that always sparks curiosity is the jade egg practice. What's the deal with that? How does it work?
Yeah, it definitely gets attention. Historically, it was reserved for women in the royal palaces in ancient China, a hidden practice.
Okay.
It involves inserting a smooth stone egg, usually jade, into the vagina. The primary goal is strengthening pelvic muscles, especially the PC muscle, and toning reproductive organs.
But there's more to it.
Seems so. The book explains the vagina has acupressure points linked to all your organs, so the jade egg might have a whole body healing, revitalizing effect.
They mention an anecdote.
Yeah, one 72-year-old practitioner claimed it helped her gray hair regain color. Now, whether that's typical, who knows? But the book stresses choosing the right thighs, warming the egg, and approaching it with self-consent, an open heart.
Why an open heart?
Because in Taoism, the vaginal entrance itself is seen as a heart zone. It's about conscious connection, not just mechanics.
Finally, the book wraps up with a really practical guide. Navigating common female health concerns, even birth control, but all through this lens of maximizing pleasure and well-being.
Right. And what's unique is how it approaches things like UTIs, yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis.
Yeah.
Yes, with medical awareness, but also emphasizing energetic balance, simple prevention.
Like?
Drinking water, peeing after sex, cranberry probiotics, trusting the body's natural healing. It also covers genital pain, itching, advising against irritants like tight clothes, scented soaps, certain lubes, suggesting natural oils instead.
And birth control, that's a big one.
A huge one. It acknowledges the double-edged sword, fear of pregnancy versus side effects. It discusses hormonal options and their potential libido impact, barrier methods for STIs, IUDs, implants, sterilization.
So it helps you make informed choices.
Exactly, based on your body, your desires. Stressing that fulfilling sex life, even with health challenges or hormonal changes, is deeply beneficial. It's a source of profound healing in itself. Outro.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive that was. We've really covered so much ground.
We really have.
From ancient Taoist energy work and, these amazing secrets, right through to practical modern medical insights on female pleasure, health, vitality. It truly feels like it lays out a pathway to a more joyful, more realized sexual self.
It really does. This has been quite a journey into the remarkable capacity of the female body for healing, for pleasure. It's astounding. The Taoist secrets in this book, now accessible to you, they really are a gift, a way to tap into your own inherent power, vitality, intuition. But remember, knowledge is great, but it's most valuable when you understand it, when you apply it.
Taking that next step.
Exactly, and exploring multiple perspectives like we did today, that truly enriches your understanding.
So what does this all mean for you? The book suggests something powerful, that by deeply loving and accepting your body, cultivating your sexual energy, seeking self-realization, you can unleash this incredible creative force, one capable of transforming not just your own life, but maybe even the world around you. So the question to leave you with is, what aspect of your sexual vitality are you ready to explore next? And how might that exploration ripple outwards into your wider life?